Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure having you again on the GearUp series live. Today, it promises to be wonderful because we're going to be discussing a very niche subject. And I have with me a very, very wonderful, special somebody, especially because of his name and because we compete on facial. All right, so he's going to be talking to us today about the mining industry and what we need to know and whatever advantage that we can take. And so no knowledge is wasted. So if you are here today, you are up for a very good and a very information and knowledge filled session. Without much ado, I'd just love to introduce him. Just like I am, he's also a chemical engineer. Our guest today is by the name Damilola Hamzat. He graduated from Covenant University and has vast experience in the mining industry, especially regarding lead and zinc, around quarrying, around haulage and logistics. He worked as a junior process engineer at Dangote Cement. He's worked with PricewaterhouseCoopers, that's PwC, and other mining firms before he started his own company, where he is now the director of operations. And the name of his company is USR Global Trading Limited. And USR Global Trading Limited deals with mining products such as zinc, lead, coal, manganese. His interest is not only limited to mining, he's also very interested in agriculture, entrepreneurship, of course, and then management. Please join me in welcoming to the GearUp series live today, Damilola Hamzat. It's a pleasure having you, bro.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. It's a
All
big
right.
privilege to be here. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so
So a lot
much.
of us here, and a lot of people watching this live stream, including myself, we're very, very interested in you showing us the money. So it's about the bottom line. So I want to know what's going on with this very very shredded. Shredded is not the right word. This covered up industry that is not supposed to be everybody that is supposed to know. Baba, you're cutting soup for us today. So let's start from the basic question.
Okay.
Let's talk about USR Global, and I think it's a good place to start. What actually led you to start the company, and what's the company about? Please tell us.
Can you hear me now? You went off for a minute.
Okay, I
For a
went off for a
second,
minute. Okay.
yeah.
Uh,
So you said you should talk
see,
about USR Global.
yes, the devil is a liar. When we want to talk about money, he wants to take us away. Na lie. All
Okay,
right. So we're saying, tell us about USL trading. Why did you start the company? What inspired you to start that company? And just a little bit about the company. Let's start
okay.
from.
So I'm going to take you guys back to the basics. So uh, I would say that like I'm from like a mining background, because my grandma does I would say archaic mining because she trades granite. That's like the easiest and the cheap that the cheapest uh mining product you can ever imagine, which is granite. Granite is really, really cheap compared to like other mineral resources. So I grew up in that environment and in that space of like, okay, fine, supply, um granite to certain places, or certain construction companies, things like that. And she actually really exposed me to that, space. Do you understand? So,
Of
and
course.
then when you start mining things like that, you start selling granite products like that, you also have to incorporate haulage because
Of
it's one
course.
thing to want to trade the mineral resources, and it's another thing to actually move them from one point to another. So
Another.
yes, I would say that like yeah, maybe from the ground, that was how I maybe developed the interest in it. So, but
I have another
however,
question for you, but I'll let you be done.
okay, however, I obviously did chemical engineering from Covenant, so a bit of chemical engineering is related to mineral resources, but And then after then, I was involved in a lot of businesses because I really love the idea of entrepreneurship, and I feel like that's like one thing that will like take Nigeria out of the deep shit that Nigeria is in right now. So I was, I had a clothing line, I had like a small agri business, but I left school. I was in my agri business, I was in my clothing line business, and then I landed into PwC because I felt like I needed like some sort of organizational or
Corporate
structural
experience.
background. Exactly. So I was in strategy and advice. I was on annual advisory unit. So I learned a lot about business consulting, about actually structuring a business. So I was there for a while. And then honestly, I felt like it wasn't just my place. I felt like I just needed to like move forward. So I left there and then I worked with a proper mining firm. So working with a mining firm was actually what exposed me to the world of mining, as it were. And then I left after a while, and then I just decided to like start up my own mining firm. So and that was how USR Global Trading started. So I knew that to actually like start a mining firm, you need a lot of money.
Mm.
Luckily for me, I had saved up enough, quite a number of like coins to actually start off. But aside that, I knew that to actually own a mining field, you need a lot of money. Like you need like investors, and I didn't have that at the time. So I was like, okay, fine. I might not own a mine. I can actually start trading some of the products that come out of a mine. And that was how USR Global Trading started. And then USR basically trades mineral resources, low end mineral resources, and also high end mineral resources. Low end, like the ones that are quite cheap, like granite, obviously, like from what I just said earlier. There's feldspar.
Mm.
Feldspar is used for tiles.
Mm.
There's a lot of factories right now that's used for tiles. Kaolin, use it for makeup, things like
Mm.
that. And then the high end ones like lead and zinc. Lead and zinc
Mm.
is actually like they come in together. And when I was working with the mining firm, that was really what we mine for exports. There's charcoal
Mm.
pyrites, there's barytes, there's gold, there's several other things that that's actually very, very important that we can actually mine in this part of the world. So basically that was what actually started. And I realized then that when I was working with the mining firm, there was a lot of people abroad that needed mineral resources, but they know that Nigeria has it, but they don't know how to get into the market. Or even if they get into the market, they would actually land into a lot of
Scammers.
thank you. Yeah, that's literally the word. So I was like, "Look, fine, why don't I just create a standard structure around trading these mineral resources?" So I would say personally that US South Global Trading is just that bridge that connects a lot of people in diaspora that need these mineral resources. And then
Mm.
I connect them with the ground root, like the mines. And then, yeah, that's just basically what USR does. So we connect a lot of people abroad with mineral resources that they need and want to buy here in Nigeria. And
Mm.
that's why we've actually introduced, and I'll talk about this later. We've introduced a lot of, I would say, business structure around it. So if you don't really know what to do about it, we've introduced a lot of, I would say, financial structures, like maybe bank guarantees, advance
Okay.
payment guarantees that you can, letter of credit that can actually safeguard your investment, even if you want to pay upfront. Then, because I
Mm.
mean, this is export, and then obviously we don't really uh, process anything in Nigeria. We just extract the ores. And this is some of the things I would actually talk about later because I feel like the mining industry isn't structured enough. It's not structured, and let's just put it at that. But yeah, but I mean, and one of the reasons why I'm actually very, 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 very passionate about this is because like a lot of people that we have in this industry are quite old.
Mm.
You wouldn't really find young stars in this industry per se.
Mm.
So I'm like, why not? I mean, I'm quite young. Why not just pursue these things and see what happens, basically? So yeah, that's basically what bettered USR Global Trading. So yeah, thank.
Okay.
You.
So
Yeah.
a quick one. You made it sound like there are categories to these ores, and that they're low end and there are high end.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Okay, so it means that if I go to the street right now, I can actually mine because I think there's some gravel on. on the road.
Yeah.
So, so will something like sand from the beach, would it classify as mining? I'm
Yeah,
just
of
asking.
course.
I'm just curious.
But it can classify as mining trading. You can sell the sand that is on the beach.
Okay.
You can sell it to whoever needs it. So I thank God, when you were introducing me, you said something about me working for Dangote Cement, which I'm
Okay.
very glad that I did at the time that I interned with them. So one of the raw materials that they use to make cement, a lot of people think limestone is the main raw material for cement. Of course, it is because it contains calcium carbonate rather,
Yeah. CaCO
CaCO3.
three.
Exactly. But there are
Mm-hmm.
other things that is actually very, very peculiar for making cement, which is silicon,
Mm.
silicon oxide, and then sand actually contains silicon oxide. You need four oxide actually to make cement. So Dangote cement Ibeshe that I worked, they need CaCO3, they need silicon oxide, they need iron oxide and aluminum oxide. So they get silicon oxide actually from sand. So you can actually use that for that. Do you understand? So I would say there's really nothing that is useless as it were in
Mm.
mining. So if you take, for example, they use sharp sand for building.
Yes, of course.
Exactly. Sharp sand is something you find regularly in like Ogun River. And that's why you find a lot of dredging sites in Ogun River or environs because this is something that is highly in demand, especially the ones that doesn't contain salt because salt doesn't exactly, is not exactly favorable for construction engineers because salt is not
Yes.
just good for building. Yeah. So yeah, so
Rust,
you
rust
can
and the likes.
the mining industry is extremely broad. And
Mm.
that's why I'm shocked that a lot of people are not into it because there's a lot of things. The value chain in it is extremely broad. Haulage
Mm.
alone is a lot of
It's a huge space.
um exactly just moving these raw materials from the mines down to maybe the port or wherever is needed. There's
Mm-hmm.
haulage, there's the trading part, there's
Mm-hmm.
obviously the mining part, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why a lot of people think mining is extremely hard to enter is because they feel like you need a lot of money. So if you know that you cannot own a mine, you don't have that much money, just trade some of the mineral resources that here in Nigeria. I know for a fact that the Nigeria has the electromagnetic map of all of the mineral resources in this country. What I feel personally, yeah, what I feel is that a lot of people don't seek information. A lot of young people don't seek information. There's the mining cadastral website. There's this mineral Ministry of Steels and Mines and Development website, but nobody knows these things are there for you to consume. There's certain mineral titles that you can get that can allow you to. Okay, one of the things I was exposed to growing up was, like I told you, my grandma had was buy what she does basically she'll buy granite from Chinese and she'll sell to people that need them. Basically, that's what she does. And then she built a multi-millionaire business out of this. She did it for over 35 years and she's still doing it, even though it's not as much as before because it's like old and almost getting to retirement age. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so imagine how much she made from just trading granite alone. Talk less of when you now trade iron and mineral resources like the lead, zinc,
Mm.
gold, for example. There's charcoal pyrite, there's copper that's highly in demand. And there's even in charcoal pyrite, yeah, even if you don't have copper, Nigeria has charcoal pyrite. Nigeria has copper. Nigeria has charcoal pyrite where you can actually extract copper from and sell. And then I don't know, maybe you might ask me one of these questions later on. What we do in Nigeria, we only extract. Well, I would say 80% of the time we extract and we sell to Chinese, the Europeans, the Americans. But what they do is they buy and then they
Process.
process.
I sell
And
back.
then is natural, what's it called? When you add value to a product, you get more money,
Value.
basically. In lead, for example, lead ore, when you do the chemical analysis of lead, there's high content of what's it called? Of what's the mineral again? Is this steel? Silver. Yeah, there's high.
Okay.
That's Hg. Yeah, silver. There's high
Mm-hmm.
content of silver in lead. So these people actually
AG.
extract, exactly, they extract this mineral resources and then they sell separately. Charcoal pyre, for example, you can get nickel from it. You can get copper from charcoal pyrite. You can get gold even from charcoal pyrite. So what they do, they buy at normal price. They go to London Metal Exchange. That's LME.com. That's when you actually see like the prices. Just like Abuke Express, you see the prices of dollar for currency exchanges. But when you go
Mm-hmm.
to London Metal Exchange, that's LME.com, you see the different prices of mineral products, basically. So they extract and then they sell individually. So I feel like that's one of the reasons why I feel like the mineral or the mining industry in Nigeria is not robust enough, because we need factories that can actually separate these things and then we sell individually. Is that's where I see the mining industry going. Do you understand? So
And what
yeah.
is this factory that we're talking about? Just simple, basic separation processes.
Thank you. Exactly. Like basic chemistry. That's literally what it is. You don't even have to be in the university to know this. Basic chemistry from SS1, SS2, SS3 are things that, yeah, that's literally what it is. But I don't know. Maybe it's political.
Mm.
Maybe it's political, or the Minister of Mines, or maybe the Director General of Mining Cadastral is not. Maybe they're working on it. I wouldn't say they're
Maybe
not working on
I prefer that. Let's go with that.
it. Yeah, maybe they're working on it. Yeah, but yeah, there's enormous um, opportunities in the mining industry. Yeah, so that's just basically what it is.
Okay, beautiful. Now the questions are clashing in my head. So now I'm going to ask,
Yeah.
um, for any young person who's listening to us right now, I can imagine what's going through their mind.
Mm,
Recently, we heard about the second largest deposit of diamond that was found. I can't remember if it was South Africa or one of these Southern African states. And
yeah.
just recently, about a week ago, thereabout, um, diamond of this size. And
Mm,
there's this report that's going around, that's making the rounds right now around, a lot of a lot of foreigners actually come in and exploit, and what's going on in Africa
of
is over
course. Yeah.
exploitation.
Yeah.
You exploit and then you take the materials away. You've taken slaves at a
Of
time,
course they
you've
do.
taken
Yeah.
materials, and then you still keep coming back to still take. There's all that narrative there, man. Okay, but okay. So now, practically, I want to participate, and you're saying that the path of least resistance is in trading. That's what I hear you say.
Yeah. Of
That
course.
the
Yeah.
easiest place, because if you look at the value
To
chain,
actually
you're
enter the
coming
market. Yeah.
from for the value chain. We even start from things like exploration, not even
Mm,
taking the stuff out to even find out, measure the deposit, you can from your
exactly.
geology
Yeah.
and everything, all the way to actually mining, and then from
Mm,
mining to logistics, haulage, trading in between, and then processing, and then the value chain goes away from there. I think about a month ago, also we saw the president raising a made in Nigeria phone, made in partnership with Industrial Training Fund, ITF, and then the DG or the senior official from ITF explaining, that some of these things were made in Nigeria, but and I know that a lot of us will also naturally believe that it was assembled in Nigeria, and some of these products actually that are used, the nickel, all the materials used can actually be found in Nigeria.
of
Okay, so
course. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
having said that, what is the in naira now? What's the minimum capital required to come into this business? Okay, what's the minimum? That's number one. And number two, uh, is there room for attracting investment? Okay, because I know that practically, if you're going to be trading, I don't think I want to give somebody, I want to invest in someone who is going to now go and trade. No, I'm going to invest in
Yeah.
someone who is going to try to add value. Now, in the process of trying to add value, are there rooms, are there bodies within the system, the ecosystem, the mining ecosystem that actually allows one to say, hey, you know what, if you're building this type of factory, there's this type of subvention, there's this type of fund, there's this type of aid, this grant, this loan. Is there anything like that? Are you aware of any?
Oh yes, definitely. let me start from the first question. So I feel like it depends on how you want to enter the market. Because
Mhm.
I feel like, I mean, for every business you want to start, you need market research. So you do, who are your buyers, all of those things. That's standard. But if you want to enter the mining industry as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, it depends on your
Mhm.
capacity. Take for example, you do not have any funds to start. You can actually start a company by just trading. Now,
Mhm.
what does USR do? USR has an MOU signed with artisanal miners,
Mhm.
signed with proper mining firms that actually
Mhm.
extract these things from the ground that are based in different states in the country. Not Lagos, because Lagos doesn't have anything. Even granite,
You
Lagos.
mind human being in Lagos.
Lagos maybe has the human resource, of course, it's the commercial capital of the country, but when it comes to like real mineral resources, like Lagos doesn't really have. I worked in I've worked in like maybe different like maybe 17 states where I know that like they actually have this deposit. So you can decide to want to start trading these mineral resources by having a relationship with these people. Even if you don't want to buy outright from these mines, you can tell them they'll be fine. Can you keep a quota for me? If you have a memorandum of understanding, and if they know that you're a structured business, they know, okay, fine, you're an entity that they believe that, can represent maybe them or even yourself to the outside world. Have an MOU with them. So take for example, then you want to buy maybe copper ore from me, and then maybe you reside in Canada or in the US. You will tell me that, okay, because I've not met you before, and then because Nigeria is not really good with, we are very infamous for maybe fraud. I mean, that's one of the downside of maybe Yahoo Boys, for example. But that's our discussion. So a lot of people don't trust businessmen from this part of the world. So I mean, there are different financial securities that you can use. Like I said earlier, letter of credit, bank guarantees, like advanced payment guarantees. So when you supply them, the
Mhm.
bank would actually pay you. So to answer your question, I would say that you almost do not really need funding to enter the business. Just have a structured business and have a structured payment platform that is recognized globally, like some of these payment platforms that I just mentioned. Take for example, you tell maybe the guy works with Barclays Bank in the UK, the person you're transacting with, and you tell them that, okay, fine, my account officer, as a banker, as a businessman in Nigeria, would speak with your account officer abroad. You know,
Mhm.
issue me a letter of reference, for example, when I transact with you, when the product gets to your port, or at some point when it gets to the port in Nigeria, and as at the point is loading, you release this amount of funds for me, maybe 40%. And when it gets
30%.
there, you release another. So there are several ways you can actually structure these things. And that's why, personally, I feel like a lot of people that went to business school, I really do not, I've not gone to business school. I'm maybe in the process of going to a business school. I feel like these are the things they should educate entrepreneurs on. There are several things you can
Don't
actually
you have also?
ways.
Yeah. Be careful as you trade. Tread
What did you
carefully.
say?
Tread carefully
No,
because you
no,
are
no,
pinching
honestly.
somebody here.
No, no, honestly, because I feel like, yeah, eventually, like there are several ways to actually do some of these things. So yeah, so basically, you almost do not need any amount of funds if you want to enter the mining trading. You want to buy and sell. It's trading, buy and sell. But if you want to actually enter the mining industry in terms of like owning a mine, there are several steps to it. You have to start with your even finding the land to actually even mine on. And to find the land, you need to do, there's something they get from there, different mineral titles that you get. There's reconnaissance and title. That's a title that you get from the federal government that allows you explore, or that allows you even check if there's material on this land. There is mining lease. When you found something on the land and you actually don't want to, mine, you need that certificate from the federal government. There's exploration license, the small scale mining license, there's quarry lease. That's a lot of Chinese actually have that. Quarry lease is basically for you want to own a quarry, maybe granite or feldspar or something. You need some of this. And then okay, now let me educate you a little bit. So there's a parastatal under the Ministry of Mines and Development called MCO, that's Mining Cadastral Office. So the Mining Cadastral Office, cadastral, basically, the English meaning of cadastral is like a map or a survey of a land showing whatever it contains, right? So that's why I tell you that like, Nigeria actually has a map of all of the mineral resources that is in this country. They do. It's not as if they don't have, but do people even know these things, or are people even seeking information, and are they trying to even know if there's a material in this or the products in this part of the world? No. There are a lot of people are actually focused on oil, and I feel like mining industry is actually like the next oil boom. But that's another
But
discussion on the other side.
by the way, one of our viewers says that Abidemi Akonde says that there is crude oil in Lagos waters. So it's not just human that would mine in Lagos, but that's by
Exactly.
the way.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Thank you, Vinny. That's my very good friend and partner. So what was I saying? So there are different ways to actually like enter this part of business. So there's different money classes you can actually get from the. But to now talk about investment now, anyone that wants to invest in your company has to, you have to give them a soft landing. You know, if you are looking for FDIs, that's foreign direct investment, people want to know that is the climate they're investing in, is it safe? Are they going to lose money? Is the money safe? How are they going to multiply money? You know, and then one of the things that is in the works right now for USR is actually trying to partner up with, you know, international trading firms to actually like come up with modular, would I say refineries that can actually convert or add value to some of the some of the mineral resources that we have here in the country. Like I said, lead, for example, you know, you can actually process lead to have silver and several other mineral resources and everything. But basically, they need to know that like, fine, there's a soft landing for them. But the policies right now in Nigeria, does it even favor foreign direct investment? I think it does. I think it does because I wouldn't say they are doing the best job. That's the Minister of Mines or whoever like is under that. But I feel like they make it scare people. Like you cannot just enter it. And I feel like it's also quite expensive for people to enter. But if for okay, now let me give you a perfect scenario. If you maybe have 100 million naira right now, you feel like okay, fine, I want to invest in the mining industry and everything. The Chinese would come with 1 billion naira. You have 100 million naira. They have funds. You know that they have funds. The Chinese have funds. They come in and give and come to maybe Minister of Mines, for example. Minister of Mines would place those ones as priority rather than you that have like 100 million naira compared to someone that has 100 billion naira. And I feel like they need to maybe modify the Mining Act of 2007, the Mineral Resource Act of 2007, such that people can actually own and have or collect licenses or titles or mineral titles to small cadastral units of mineral resources. The mining industry or the mining Ministry of Mines will not exactly give you, even though in the Mineral Act, you cannot have, take for example, you want to have a small scale mining license, for example, of maybe 10 cadastral. According to the Mining Act, you cannot really have that except you have the money. But if you have the money, you can gain the ball. Why a lot of young people cannot really enter the market is because they are scared. They don't seek information, and then they cannot really structure their business such that it accommodates the rules and regulations guiding the mineral or the mining industry act. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
I
So
understand.
I
I
would
get it.
say personally, a lot of people that want to enter this business should seek information, know the rules and regulations guiding the industry, then find a way to use the resources that you have to enter the industry. You know, you don't even have to have the mining lease for it. The mining lease takes about, I think, 24 years. When you get a mining lease, for example, for you to renew it takes 24 years for you to renew it. Small scale mining license, for example, takes 5 years. The quarry lease, I think, takes 2 years. You know, so look at, if you have the information, then you now know the capacity to actually enter. And this information is not even far-fetched. It's something you can get on the mineral mining Ministry of Mines website. You can actually get it there. When you Google Mineral Resource Mining Act of Nigeria, it's there. But a lot of people, and that's why I'm very, very glad and appreciative that you giving me this opportunity to actually talk about this, because I feel like a lot of people need to have this information. So you actually gear them to. Personally, I don't know any other youngster that is in this industry apart from old people that I know. A lot of people that are young don't want to really do this. They want to probably go into fashion, music, entertainment, things like that. But this business, I would say, is very niche, and it takes time to actually, do something worthwhile with it. But I mean, who cares? As long as you're adding value, you're making money, and you're also maybe increasing the GDP of the country. Let me give you an instance. In 2019, the federal government recorded 79.96 billion in the what's it called? They recorded for mineral resources. Ordinarily, all it takes about 60% of the total what's it called we get for this country. But the mining industry alone got 79 billion, over 79 billion, and that's the highest in 5 years. And I feel like that's one of the things I'm appreciative of the Minister of Mines today, because if not for him, when he came into power, that's the highest in 5 years. And then this industry has so much potential, but nobody is doing anything about it. So there's extreme opportunities in the industry as long as people are brave enough to actually enter the industry. And like I said, you almost don't need any money to enter the industry if you have people abroad. And I know you also, like, through some of the workshops that you do, you will help find funding and structure people's businesses such that they can accommodate people abroad to actually, get into different sectors of the economy. Do you understand? So yeah, that's what I feel.
Okay, so another question for you.
Okay.
Are there associations or like bodies to belong to be able to take advantage of and is there a particular discipline? Must you be an engineer? Must you be a geologist to participate? And are there associations? Do you know of any professional? Like the accountants have HIC and chemical engineers have the NSHE and co,
Yeah, of course.
and
I know.
NSC and co. Okay,
Yeah.
so is there any like that or?
Well, personally, I know of the. I think it's states wise. There are different associations in different states. There's I think the ministry. There's Mining Association of Nigeria. I think I know about that, but personally, I'm not part of anyone because I feel like the mining industry is a free market. There's
It's
free entry,
open,
there's free
so it's
exit.
very
Yeah, it's
open.
open to everyone. So I would say personally that it's not really. Personally, I don't think I would want to join any because I feel like they will just stifle some of the plans that I have for my company and for myself. Because some of those people are actually very, very archaic in their ways of like doing business and everything. But to buttress on that point, I would say that just do your research, and if you feel like fine, you want to. But I know that for you to enter the mining industry, you need the help of geologists, you need the help of Nigerian
That's if
Export
you're if
Promotion
you're
Council.
that's if you're actually extracting.
Exactly. If you're actually extracting, you also need to be part of maybe the Nigerian Export Promotion Council for you to be able to
Aha.
export. Yeah, you need bodies like that because bodies like that would, apart from the fact that they even find you markets, they would help you ease, the process of exporting out of the country. Maybe even MPA, Nigerian Ports Authority. You also need to be part of forums like that. So yeah, I would say that yeah, that's like
Let's talk
something.
about the market. From your experience, the market as is there like an inter-Africa trade when it comes to mining, or is it that we all Africans are the same? Everybody's pushing everything out of Africa.
Okay.
I I,
There
I,
is
I guess I have the answer, but I want it from your own perspective.
okay from my own perspective. I would say that like primarily in Africa, I think we just push all of those things abroad, and that's because you can't really count. Take for example, I mean, Dangote is processing a lot of things right now. Is converting limestone into cement, even fertilizer and everything. But most of what we do in this country, we don't have industries. We don't have factories that actually convert some of these mineral resources into finished products. So most of what we do is just extractive. We extract them and push them abroad. And that's why I feel like the future of the mining industry in this country is actually to process these things. That's actually where you okay. The cocoa industry is in
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria. I know it's like a $4 billion, you know, industry.
Mm-hmm.
But in Switzerland, for example, the chocolate industry is like a 42 billion naira
The
industry. And
difference
why?
is the difference
It's
is
clear.
clear.
Exactly. And that's because they add value to these things. So, another funny thing, you don't even need to have a big factory as such. You can have modular factories that would actually process some of these things. But I know, like Jos, because there's a lot of extraction that goes on in Jos, they have some of those things, but it's not very commercial. It's probably someone that probably has small funding that actually like maybe told maybe one Chinese guy to come and construct a modular. But we need to do it in a commercial scale. So countries actually know us for these things. Extract silver from lead, extract copper from charcoal pyrite. Okay, Uganda, Rwanda, they refine gold. They have a gold refinery. Nigeria doesn't have that yet. I think Dukia Gold is maybe doing that in the works. That's in Nigeria in collaboration with Fidelity Bank. But I know that Nigeria doesn't have that yet. And then one of the good things about having a refinery, for example, people that are artisanal miners, of course, also register with the Ministry of Mines and everything. You can sell your gold to them, and then they process these things and they sell to other people. They will buy. So in turn, apart from the fact that it increases the GDP of the country, it creates jobs for people. It also even increases like dignity of labor for a lot of people. So the ripple effect of the chain effect of these things is actually
Yeah.
enormous. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
I would say, to answer your question, in Nigeria, we don't really have that much processing industries or factories. But I know in other countries, Rwanda is doing big on that. I visited Rwanda in 2018, and then I met a team of Germans. They came to the country to extract tantalite. And then when they showed me the list of the clientele that they have IBM, they have General Electric, they have Apple, they have Microsoft, they have Dell. They extract some of these things and they export them. So most of their artisanal miners there in Rwanda sell to them because they know that they will buy. And that's what hurts me the most, because people abroad come into this country to create something that we're not doing and we're not even seeing it. And the ripple effect of that is capital flight, because they take the money out of the country to develop other places. And we that we actually even have these mineral resources, we don't develop what we have here. Yeah. So basically, that's what I feel.
Wow. Sad. Sad. So we are coming to the tail end of this short session.
Wow, it's been
So if
40 minutes
anyone,
already.
it is time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, yeah, true.
So for anyone listening to us, in case you do have any question for my namesake here, please drop in the chat box shortly before we round up. So let's talk about from your experience, your
Yeah.
suggestion on how to improve. I know you've said it a lot, but I want you to tie it together. For the industry the way it is, what will be your own suggestions on the things that you think needs to be done to make things better, to make the ease of doing business? We know this is just a wish list. I'm not in government. I don't think you are. But let's just put it out there. What are your recommendations?
Okay, first and foremost, I think that like I don't like to talk a lot about the government, but I feel like to actually have tangible influence, you need the government, because they are the ones that do policy making and all of that. But I think that the government needs to also maybe start a campaign and tell people that fine, the industry is something that you can actually go into. That's the first step that I personally think. You know, the way entertainment is everywhere now, everyone wants to do music. And that's
Of
because
course.
you have a lot of companies investing in that industry because, and then they project that, oh, fine, you can actually make money. And people that have made money in this industry, in the entertainment industry, are actually very loud about it. So you need to make it attractive to people. And I feel like the government and maybe mining companies can actually do that. But a lot of mining companies are actually very low key. So I feel like the government needs to also make it very, very attractive for people. That's one. And then secondly, and this point I'm about to make cannot be overemphasized because it's just extremely important. A lot of
Okay.
people, and especially youths, need to seek information. A lot of people are
Okay.
now very, very superficial. They are very, let's say, lazy. I might be
Mm.
attacked for that, but a lot of people need to seek information. A lot of people don't seek information. They want the easy way out. Read, research on what your country has. Don't focus on other countries. Focus on what your country has. For example, sometimes when I talk about charcoal pirate, people be like, "What's that? What do you use it for?" People don't even know that we have like a lot of people. I wouldn't say people. A lot of people don't even know that we have like a mining act in this country. These are guidelines and laws that actually guide the mining industry. People need to seek information because I feel like you would only want to do or invest or commit time to what you've learned about and what you've seen opportunities in. Seek information, try to research about a lot of things, and then from there you now start to see the opportunities that lie, in this industry. That's second. Thirdly, I feel like we need to also make the investment climate for mining industry favorable for people. I've spoken to a lot of you know a lot of industries or a lot of companies abroad, and one of the major things they ask me is like, is it safe to come and invest in the country? Is it safe? Is it safe? Is it safe? And I tell them that fine, you might think it's not safe because people think that, and Nigerians are very, very quick to you know expose themselves, give off negative news and energy. So what people see abroad is the negative news. They feel like the whole of Nigeria is burning. But people don't know that a lot of people are actually living life in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, in Abuja. They are using good cars. Even in Ogun State, in Abeokuta, there are a lot of rich people. Not everywhere in Nigeria is unsafe. But where you actually find these mining mineral resources are actually not in Lagos or the places that people know. So the government, that's why I feel like the government actually needs to do a lot in assuring a lot of people that I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. That's
Of
thirdly, and
course.
then fourthly, I feel like a lot of people need to get involved. I shouldn't be the only young person doing this. Then even you can enter the mining industry. You can start doing all this.
And that brings me to the next question here. Okay.
Yeah.
Because some of us play around the digital space, and Abidemi Akonde is also asking here. So his question is on the screen. So he's asked that what is the future of the industry, digitally? Meaning, is there any way we can play around with innovations, the way the financial industry is playing with fintechs, the way the agriculture
Yes.
is playing around with agri-tech? Can we have a mine tech? Is there
Yes.
any way technology, and innovation can play around the mining space? Very briefly, I want you to touch on that. And then also touch on Thor's question, David Thor, and he says, where can I get information around about natural resources in Nigeria and also their uses? You've mentioned it, but please just quickly mention it again for David, and then also let's hit this question and call it a wrap.
Okay, so yeah, I feel like there's a lot of opportunity. In fact, if as a business, for you to actually survive in this age and time, you need to digitize a lot of things, and that goes also for the mining industry. So, for you to be able to even connect with the world, to the world of markets, to a lot of people that actually need these mineral resources, you need to be alive digitally. which I feel like a lot of mineral resources in this country yet, even including me, to be honest, is not doing yet. And that's because they're trying to find their own footing and everything. But I feel like there's a lot of opportunities in it because, okay, right now, and even Abidemi Akonde can attest to this, we are working with a Chinese man right now that is willing to, um, for us to supply 2,000 metric tons of Chakopara to him every month. And that's because we've intentionally made ourselves available online for him to know that we exist. Because if you don't do that, he would not know that we exist. And then we also, provided a lot of information that a structured business would provide that would make him comfortable enough to feel like, okay, fine, I can transact business with this person. We are still in the process of, getting and sealing this deal. But as it is, I feel like you need to digitize. And I feel like a lot of tech people need to also collaborate. Because I feel like a lot of people in Nigeria, in the mining industry, you work in isolation. Collaborate with people, sign MOUs with tech companies, collaborate, have some sort of MOU signed with these people, send that, okay, fine, do this digitally for me. Certain proceeds from a contract that I get will come back to you. There are different contracts that I can actually sign with people that will project you to the world and also make you, just get you a basic soft landing, and that's one. And then secondly, to get a natural mineral resource information, you can check the Ministry of Mines in Nigeria. Just Google Ministry of Mines and Steels. You get their website there. And under that, you can also check the MCO. That's the Mining Cadastral Office. They're the ones that actually administer and grant titles and also revoke titles. You can also check, I think, the Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NETI. There are different ones that I can actually check like that. Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. Those are the ones that actually, tell us like the numbers. They are the ones that actually even, release the information saying that like, we made 79 billion in 2019 from just the solid minerals sector alone. Yeah, so.
Fantastic. It has been a wonderful time with you, Dami. I really appreciate you showing up and then, sharing this freely with us. Thank you so much. Please, where can we find you? We won't look for you on Twitter, so you could give us any other space.
Okay, the name of my company is USR Global Trading Limited. So my Instagram name, Twitter name, even on LinkedIn is Duke
We don't do
underscore
Twitter.
USR. Okay, you don't
We
do
don't
Twitter.
do Twitter,
Okay.
sorry.
Oh, on Instagram and on my Facebook. Facebook and LinkedIn is Damilola Hamzat. That's where you find me.
Okay.
And on Instagram is Duke underscore USR. And then I also have a personal website. Duke,
That's
D-U-K-E. No,
Okay.
D-U-K-E, Duke underscore USR.
All right.
And then I also have a personal website, damilolahamzat.com. Hamza with a H. So yeah. So you see everything I do there. I also have like a small farm, a cattle farm. Because agric and mining, I feel like
just
is
hold
the
on. I'm
future
coming
of
to
the
the cattle
country.
farm one. Damilola Hamzat. That's HAMZ
Z80, yeah.
80.com, right?
Yes.
DamiloLaHamzat.com. Okay. So I've pushed it out to our viewers right now so they can see. We are out of time, but 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Tell
I
us, what do
know.
you do with the cattle? Do the cattle do the exploration for the mine, or do they help you in hauling or in
It was
sales?
something I landed in by chance, honestly, because I feel like I have like an entrepreneurial spirit.
Okay.
Any entrepreneur is someone that
Looks
looks
for
for
opportunities and
opportunity
create value.
and then
I get.
harness exactly. So I
Where
was
are your
in Nasarawa
cattle?
one day,
Where are your
like
cattle? Where are they?
Abeokuta,
Abuja, Abeokuta.
Abeokuta. They were in
Good.
Nasarawa, but I moved them to Abeokuta. So it's like
All
my
right. Nice.
small,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. Nice. When are you going to do your next killing so that we can come and eat soup?
Eid. Eid is coming in July, so.
No. We are going to make it happen, and I'm going to get the 8 Gear community. We're going to get a coaster bus and find our way over to Abeokuta to have some bulls and cow meat. Damilola Hamzat, is a pleasure having you. It was a delight chatting with you.
Thank you so
And we
much.
look forward to having a repeat of this sometime in the future.
Okay.
We wish you all the best in your business, both agri wise and both the mining wise. We look forward to also collaborating with you. And I look forward to the 8 Gear community, those who have ideas around how technology can play with mining.
Yeah,
Damlola
exactly.
Hamzat
Yeah.
is a place to go. We can have that conversation. We can have an hackathon around what we can do for the mining. How can we track? How can we keep in touch with how can we track haulage, how can we put them on dashboards, whatever innovation we can, how can big data, how can IoT, how can it play. I know that most of this, the exchange here is a lot of B2B, because you don't
Yeah.
have direct customers, that you don't have
Exactly. Yeah.
consumers directly,
Mm.
that take the products of the mine. So it's, you
Yeah.
know even within B2B business, you still have place where space for innovation to play.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
what kind of
Totally agree.
technology can be infused into what is going on, and how can it become, because once technology begins to get infused in it, we can have a lot of younger people being more
Exactly.
interested
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
what is going on in the space. So guys, there
I
you
totally
have it.
agree.
Damilola Hamzat is my namesake. You see the way Damilola's, this is the SI unit of Damilola. You see him there. I'm 0.8 Dami right now. So I'll get there very soon. I'll get to 1 point and then 1.1 Dami. So it's a pleasure having every one of us online and listening in. Thank you for staying tuned. 50 minutes. We've not been to 50 minutes in a while. So thank you for staying with us till now. So, Dami, it's a pleasure having you. And guys, have a
Thank you very
wonderful
much for having me.
weekend ahead. Somebody dropped a last minute post and it just gives you fire, fire, fire. Adebayo Martins, thank you for listening in. God bless you. So, guys, have a wonderful weekend. It was a pleasure hosting you all.
Thank you very
Bye.
much, Dami, for having me. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
you're welcome.
Yeah.